Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we're finally taking a look at the Carnegie Collection 2009 Spinosaurus. Alright, so here we are, finally, with the Carnegie Collection 2009 Spinosaurus. And I say finally because this review is basically 2 years in the making, and I want to send a shout out to my friend Aydin, who got this for me for my birthday 2 years ago, waiting for me to do a review on it, and I haven't done it until now. But better late than never is what I say, but he's still gonna pick on me about it. But anyway, here is the Carnegie Collection Spinosaurus. And whoopsie, I just bumped into my camera. I'm gonna fix that in post in a bit. But here's the thing. I cannot judge this figure based on accuracy, because Spinosaurus has changed so much since this figure was released in 2009. We found so much more fossil material in the years after 2009, but even though it's out of date, doesn't mean it's not a good figure. This figure is absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. It's lovely. Now, one thing I want to talk about straight off the bat is the coloration. And I kind of have a weird relationship with the coloration on this figure. Some days I look at it on my shelf next to all my other theropod figures, and I look at it and I'm like, hey, that's some really cool, unique coloration. And then other days I look at it and I'm like, oh, those colors are kind of boring and bland. So I'm kind of stuck in between. I'm okay with the colors. I think they're fine. I think my favorite part is like the patterning on the sail. It feels very Egyptian-like. And the overall coloration with the warm tan colors and the oranges and even a little hint of red on the crest feels very desert-like and Egyptian in a way. The patterns on the sail almost remind me of like some hieroglyphics or something, which I think is pretty cool. Now for the detailing on this figure, the detailing is really nice. Now, there's actually not as much intricate detailing, but the detailing that is here just really pops, and it really helps sell this figure as a real animal. First of all, I love these huge, bumpy scales that are going down the body, all the way down the tail there. They start at the back of the neck, as you can see. I think that's a lovely choice. It's very unique, and to my current memory, I haven't seen any Spinosaurus reconstructions other than this one, with those large scales or osteoderms running down the body. I think those are very unique in comparison to a lot of the time we get crocodilian-style scales to go on Spinosaurid bodies. Yeah, but I think that's really cool. The wrinkles and folds in the skin are also very nice, especially around the limbs, etc. The toned musculature in the limbs is lovely as well, and I overall just like the way it's holding its body when it's standing. It's kind of like, here, let's zoom out a little bit. It's like got this low slouch to it, like it's holding the front part of its body a little bit lower than the back, but it's very intimidating. I like it. You can almost just hear like an intimidating hissing noise emitting from its mouth as it's turning its head to see a potential aggressor or something in its territory. It's really cool. Anyway, back to the arms quickly. You can see that this depiction of Spinosaurus has the large baryonyx style hand claw, and I do like the way the claws are painted as well. Same with the claws on the feet. They're painted in a dark gray color, but they're tipped in a black, which I think is quite unique and very cool. I'm sure some other Carnegie figures did this as well. I need to refresh my memory on that, but it really stands out on the Spinosaurus with that large thumb claw. I think it looks really cool. It's just little small things, even if it's just the addition of another color on the tips of the claws on figures. Really just bring the sculpt to life and make it feel more loved and carefully painted in comparison to some other figures out there. Now there's a closer look at the sail on the back, and there is a slight gloss to the paint, especially towards the tip of the sail. And I really like the way the light catches that, if you guys can see that in camera. It looks really cool, and I love the black border going against that orange color on the sail. It looks absolutely lovely. Now onto the tail here, if the camera will focus. Now the tail is curving down towards the side, maybe a little bit more of a curve than I would have liked for this particular iteration of Spinosaurus. We do know that Spinosaurus had very long extended vertebrae. Of course, if you heard about the recent discovery, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably have heard about the new Spinosaurus Tail. But this, of course, was made 11 years before that discovery was announced, so can't complain about that. But the tail is probably my biggest complaint with the posture, because if we zoom out here again quickly, and you see when you sit it down, it is a tripod, unfortunately. Now, it's not as obvious as some other Carnegie figures, but I'm just not a huge fan of that look, like the tail intentionally coming down, almost like a third leg to help it brace itself against the ground. I wish they came up with something a little bit different, but it's not too distracting, especially from this side. You can't really tell that the tail is even touching the ground, which I think is great. And if you actually get it into the right pose, like here, I don't know if you guys could see that, or if you get it on the right angle. Oh, it just did it. It's not going to do it now, is it? But it will balance on its 2 feet. That is very, very rare, at least with my figure and my personal experience with messing around with this figure. But it can balance on its 2 feet in some very rare occasions. Now, one last thing I wanted to take a look at on this figure is, of course, the head. And the head is beautifully sculpted, and it actually holds up quite well in comparison to the new iteration of Spinosaurus's head today, based on new fossil material, of course. The crest is in a nice dark red color. I really like that. They could have easily done it with an orange or yellow from the sail, but really makes it stand out. I think it works well with the rest of the warm colors on the body there. The eyes painted in that metallic gold color again. Oh, how I love Carnegie Collection's eyes on their prehistoric animals. They have that nice little glisten to them, and they just really pop and feel lifelike. And the eye is so tiny and so intricately painted as well. It's really nice. The nostrils are also very nicely sculpted on this figure. There is a little bit of depth to them, and they're painted lovely as well. There's a little bit of a fleshy color painted on the interior of the nostrils, which is very nice. And the interior of the mouth has been sculpted and painted in a fleshy pink color as well. The tongue is very nicely shaped as well. I really like that. And even the roof of the mouth has some nice grooving going on in there. And there's even a coat of gloss on the inside of the mouth to give a genuine look of saliva in there. Now, my only other complaint with this figure, which is very, very minor, it really doesn't bother me at all, but I'd just like to mention it, is the teeth are very chunky, especially the larger ones. They don't end in a point. That's obviously to protect younger folks from hurting themselves with this figure. But it's really not as bad as some other dinosaur models that I have, so I can't really complain about it, but it's just the larger teeth on the upper jaw here, the one right at the front and the one right behind the notch there, are just a little bit too chunky for my liking. But the rest of the teeth, they're pretty good. Anyways, I think that basically covers everything I have to say. I think it just sells the look of a real animal so well. And the Carnegie Collection did such a fantastic job of doing that, especially throughout the later years of them when the Spinosaurus was released. But anyway, if you can get one of these, if you're a fan of Spinosaurus, or if you just want a real natural feeling dinosaur figure overall, then I definitely recommend this one. I don't know of any shops that have this figure in stock currently. I'd say your best bet is just searching on eBay, keeping your eyes open for any listings that come up. But anyway, in case you're wondering how large this figure is, from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, with the curve in the tail there, we're looking at pretty much exactly a foot, 12 inches long, which is about 30 centimeters. And in terms of the height, at the highest point, which is the top of the sail there, we are looking at about 6 inches, which is about 16 centimeters. And for a quick comparison to show how much Spinosaurus has evolved over the years after finding new fossil material, here is the 2019 limited edition Papo Spinosaurus. And I think these two look really cool next to each other, actually, as like two staples as reconstructions of Spinosaurus go. The Papo one is probably the most accurate Spinosaurus on the market right now. So if you can get one of these before they're all gone because they're limited edition, I highly recommend it. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this review of the Carnegie Collection 2009 Spinosaurus. This review was a long time coming. And once again, I want to thank my good friend Aydin for getting this for me for my birthday 2 years ago, and I apologize that the review took so long to come out, but here we are, and I hope you all enjoyed. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So take care, and bye-bye.